Hey everyone, I hope you guys are excited for this video. Today we're going to be talking about Queen's Commerce. Queen's Commerce is one of Canada's top business programs for both undergraduate and masters, and it definitely produces some of the best business leaders in Canada and is well known to have a great reputation as well. If you don't know how these videos work, basically we do 4 different topics. We talk about academic, we talk about admissions, we talk about student life, and lastly, we talk about funding. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the first topic. Let's talk about academics. So starting off, I really want to talk about career opportunities. I do think Queen's has one of the top, if not the best, career opportunities in Canada, especially for commerce. And this is reported with a 94% employment rate for graduating students out of the Queen's Commerce undergraduate program. You might be wondering, where do Queen's students end up working? 36% of them end up working in finance, 17% of them go into consulting, and 9% of them go into marketing. These are the top 3 industries that Queen's graduates go into, but there are a ton of different other industries as well, such as entrepreneurship, such as tech as well. The average base salary for graduates is $64,737, and the highest base salary recorded for the class of 2020 was a whopping $125,661. The next thing I want to talk about is exchanges. So Queen's is really well known for the exchange program, and a ton of their students go on exchange, and it's really popular in your 3rd year. So what happens is they have 220 exchange partners in 40 plus countries in the world, and over 600 students every year in Queen's Commerce go on exchange. You might be wondering, what kind of courses do I need to take when I do get into Queen's Commerce? I'll put up a list right now, but just go through it really quickly. You have to take Intro to Commerce, Intro to Financial Accounting, Management Accounting, Organizational Behavior, Mathematical Analysis for Management, also known as kind of calculus, Managerial Statistics, Principles of Economics, and Managerial Economics, and then you also have an elective as well. This is a non-commerce elective. Okay, let's talk about admissions. How do you really get in? What are the requirements? So starting off, they look at your top 4 grade 12 courses, including your English, including your math, and 2 additional courses at the grade 12 U or M level in Ontario, and if for anyone else, this is just 2 academic electives in your grade 12 year. This could be anything from accounting to economics. Queen's has this listed in their website. You can go check it out to see if your elective applies for admission. So it's really interesting how Queen's weighs their admission. So past 87%, they only look at your supplemental application. So as long as you meet the cutoff for 87%, Queen's looks solely at your written application and who you're as a person to determine if you get into Queen's Commerce. But yet again, it's always safe to get as high as the average, so make sure you aim for a 90 plus average. I would recommend for Queen's Commerce. I say this because the admission average for Queen's Commerce is a 90 to a low 90. So generally it ranges around 91, 92, sometimes 90, but generally these admission averages are going higher and higher every year. So if you want to be above average, I would say recommend going above a 90 plus average. If not, try to aim for a little bit higher in the 90s as well. And with that said, I talked a little bit about how Queen's is such a good program in Canada, as one of the best employments, and with that, it comes with a very, very competitive acceptance rate of 6 to 7%. Okay, let's talk a little bit about student life. There's lots to get excited for because Queen's has a very lively and vibrant and welcoming community. But first, I want to talk about residence. So Queen's offers a variety of residences from single, double, triple, or quad rooms, and the prices range from $15,000 all the way to $17,500, and this includes your meal plan and dining hall residence plan as well. This is a little bit on the expensive side, especially if you're on the $17,500, but note that this comes with some of the best options. You have a double-sized bed, you have a single room. Those comes with all the best features, and then if you want a cheaper end, you might have to look for like a double room or something that's more shared and has common washrooms. But residence is not only the option you have. If you want to live off campus, I think Queen's is probably one of the best places to live off campus if you're the first year. This is because Queen's is very tight-knit and close, so even if you're off campus, you're only a 10 to maximum 15 minutes away for walking distance from your classes. So if you don't want to live on residence and want to save some money, you can look for off-campus housing, and it's also really close to Queen's as well. So a little bit about meal plan. I told you the cost that has been covered inside your residence plan, but if you're off campus or maybe you just don't are just not paying that residence fee, there is something called a flex meal plan. So this gives you a variety of different options of refill depending on how many times you want to eat a week. They have a ton of different options, and you just basically pay as you eat, pay as you go type of flex plan. So on to social life. This is super exciting because Queens has so many different fun events like homecoming, and they're one of the most close-knit and welcoming communities out there. So there's always something that you can find to do on campus, if not with your friends, or event that's hosted by Queens, or even club events as well. There are a ton. But officially Queens hosted events, I left a link in the description below. You can check that out. There are different cultural events, social events, or even career events that you can attend. So let's talk a little bit about libraries. Where can you study? Queens has 7 libraries, and I'll just go through each of them. So first, they have the Bracken Health Science Library. It says in its name, this is mainly for health science students. They have the Douglas Library. This is one of the mainer and bigger libraries. And then they have the Education Library. This is for education students and mainly has resources for teaching. And then they have the W.D. Jordan Rare Books and Special Collections Library. I think that's pretty given in the name. And then they have the William R. Letterman Law Library, also pretty well given in the name. It specializes for law students. And they have the Stauffer Library, is which are one of the most popular and bigger libraries as well. And then lastly, they have the Queen's University Archives. Now let's talk a little bit about clubs. I definitely recommend joining a few clubs, both interest or even career-wise. I left a link down in the description that has a club list, so make sure you go check out something that you're interested in. But I'll just shamelessly plug a few clubs. There is QMC, which is Queen's Marketing Consulting, and then there's QUIC, which is Queen's Investment Club, and then there's also Queen's Consulting Association, QCA. Those are the 3 most top popular industry groups that people go into after graduation, so you might as well just join a club that can also support your career, and it's also really sociable as well. Last topic in this video, funding. So how much does it cost to attend Queens? It is $16,000 a year for domestic students, and it is $51,000 for international students. For scholarships, I want to highlight 2 major admission scholarships that I definitely recommend you to apply for, and a few of the eligibilities goes as follows. You have to be a Canadian citizen or a PR of Canada. You have to attend high school in Canada or internationally. And students in a gap year, you could still apply for a major admission award, don't worry. And recipients will not be eligible for any other merit-based scholarships. And the 2 major admission awards I want to tell you about is the Bank of Montreal Scholarship. This is $40,000 and you need a 90+ average to apply. And the second one is the Chancellor's Scholarship. This is $48,000 and you also need a 90+ average to apply. But with that said, if you don't want to write an application to apply for a major admission scholarship, Queens also offers automatic entrance scholarships depending on your grade average. So this can range up to $1,000 to $7,000 for the top 5% of the incoming class. Lastly, but not finally, let's talk about financial aid and bursaries. So yes, you can apply through government student financial aid and the student loans, but Queens also has 2 different programs that are sponsored directly from Queens that I definitely recommend you to apply for. So they have the Queens General Bursary, and they also have the Work Study program that you can apply to. I left a link in the description below, so make sure you check these bursaries and financial aid programs out and see if you're eligible to apply, and you just fill out the application form for Queens. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out the 3-minute quiz down below in the description. It checks your eligibility for scholarships and bursaries. And second of all, you can also check your eligibility to join our admission program as well. But with that said, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.